Hello and welcome to Take a Beat. My name is Tirza and I'm the digital pastor here at IES. And I want to welcome you to our podcast, which is an IES podcast that invites you to come and take a little break and talk about things that matter, only to launch ourselves back on the beat. We here, we're back with Titus.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And what is that?
I don't know.
But I don't know. I think you should still introduce
Okay.
yourself, just maybe in a different way
Uh,
from last one.
okay. I am Titus. My name is Titus, and I am still gonna say I am the staff here at IES.
Yes, that's right.
Um, one of my favorite pastimes is video games, and so I love video games, and I've been
Do you
playing
have a
video games.
favorite one?
Halo Reach, I think, is my
Oh,
favorite game,
okay.
and Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's a really good
Okay.
one.
All right. Anything else you would like to share with the world?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know. Well, today we are still on our tech series. So we have actually been on this series for a little while and talking about healthy relationship with technology, how we like looking into how we use technology, looking at how it affects us and affects our faith. So I kind of want us to talk about, by the way, if you don't know this, you've seen this, but Titus has been with me on Take a Beat for this entire series. And so just letting you know in case you don't know this. So this time around, I kind of wanted us to talk a little bit about um, what we post on social media.
Mm,
'Cause I think these days, that's actually a lot of where the interactions come from, or happen. Social media, and even people get their news from social media. People get their entertainment gossip from social media. Um, what else? Memes.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just and even connecting with people, networking. Um, I really want to say sliding into people's DMs.
Yeah, that happens.
So yeah, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about like what we post on social media. So just tell me. I mean, I'll share too, but tell me a little bit about how you post, or what do you what are the things you post on social media?
Um, it's funnily I was looking back at my old Instagram posts and my old Facebook posts from when I was like a young teen, and I realized that I can remember that most of it, and the whole reason why I got Instagram in the first place was because my sister, Patty, she needed one more follower to get to 100 back in the day, and so she made an Instagram account for me to post, and so that she can get that 100, and then after that, most of the posts or some of the posts that came out of that Instagram for the first few years was from her or like by her because like
Okay, so
but it was all
you had a social media manager before it was a thing.
yeah, and I was
Okay,
12.
right. You're supposed to be 13.
Or I don't know how old I was, okay? I don't remember. It was
Okay,
maybe
okay.
12 or 13, I don't know. Um and then and so now I post actually I think so I actually have two accounts. On my main one, I post pictures of people and my friends. Like okay, not random people. Like my friends,
Please expound
like
on
like my
this.
friends or events I
Okay,
was
okay,
part
okay, okay,
of.
okay, yeah.
Because I think ever since I personally bought a camera, I've been posting a bit more,
Hmm.
not a lot more, just like maybe once or twice a year to be honest. But posting with from that camera, so I would take
Okay.
photos and then I would just post off of that. And usually it's like at least the ones on my main would be based on people because uh, at least that's like I interact with people on
Yeah.
mostly on that account. While on the second account, it's mostly just for like my other stuff like nature or like some scenery or something or like something I focused on. and then out of that one comes a little bit more of like journaling and things like that.
Okay, so you use that other account for um
Journaling, yeah,
journaling, kind of reflecting.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. I
I
don't
know, I
know.
know, I know. I'm asking like I don't know this.
Yeah, I know. And then like I'm also explaining very vaguely actually, to be honest.
No, okay, no, that's fine. I think uh, for me, I I have my personal Instagram account, and what do I post there? I think I post photos of people
Yeah, I think
and
I've noticed that.
travel and events. Um, yeah, I also post reels of Legos
Oh yes, those are
that
so
I
fun to
do.
watch.
Um, and yeah, and I do have a second account. Actually, I have three accounts.
Oh,
Yeah, I have this a second account for my writing because I do a lot of
right,
writing.
right, 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 right.
And then I have a third account for all of the like celebrities and stuff that I follow. Um, or K-pop.
Oh, I did not know about that one.
No. The thing is, I like it's about the algorithm. I think for me, I don't post anything in that account, but I just like because if not, then like my feed in my normal one would be all about like a new Chinese drama coming out, 17 stuff coming out, and then like I don't know, like some feud between some celebrities, and I don't actually get to see the things that my friends post.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, I have that other account really just for my entertainment news.
that's new to me. I think that's a new one to me.
I know I'm a little embarrassed just explaining.
That one's a newer one, isn't it?
It's been a year or so,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe a couple years. But anyway, so what what goes into now I can't concentrate. What goes into choosing what to post for you?
Uh, Usually I post post reflecting something. So like after reflecting something.
Okay. Like post,
Sorry.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
And so whether like even the things that I post on, let's say, my main account with people and these things, it's usually after like I reflected on like what some events that have happened, and
Mm,
so the photos are also a recap of that kind of thing.
okay.
And so like I think my latest post was something with just a bunch of my friends and some family, because there were December had a lot of that, like a lot of
Mm,
events, a lot of things, and it kind of flew
mm,
it kind of flew by. But then it afterwards, like even like I think I posted in January with all the December stuff, and it was January when I actually sat down like, okay, this is what happened, or this is what I felt, and these are some highlights. And so that post was highlight post of just the things that I was thinking about and like actually cherishing, if
okay.
anything.
So it's pretty much a way for you to reflect and
Yeah.
again, like kind of reflect on life. So what what makes the cut and what doesn't make the cut for posting?
Mm,
Don't worry, I have a point to my question.
okay, I love this. I don't know if there really is. I don't know. I don't think about it that much. I think there was a couple times where I'm like, oh, I posted this with my friends.
Mm,
Oh, then but then like, oh, I had this event with some other friends,
mm,
so maybe I should post that one too. But to be honest, like thinking about it, um, I that hasn't been like a really big deal for me,
okay,
because like if I'm already going out with people or with certain groups of people, they're already kind of like not more important, but as in like they're already in that circle where I would be able to uh post on them. I think. And so generally I would then have them mostly there. And so if ever that you see a post about, let's say in December or whatever, and you didn't make the cut, I didn't realize. I
No,
guess.
no, no, not like
I know,
who.
I know. But I'm
Like,
just saying it
I don't care if
in
I
case
don't make
somebody
the
is
cut.
watching this.
This
Like,
is
no, no,
not
no.
like this is not an episode to hash out why I didn't make the cut in several
It's
of your
no,
Instagram
no. It's
posts.
not. I know.
But now that you mention it,
No,
can I just scroll through what you post?
no. I'm sure you're on there. No, I'm sure you're on there. Um, is yeah, so I don't think about it that much actually. I just kind of like, okay, I remember this event, or I had a group photo of this event, and then I'll
Okay.
post. It sometimes even like the teens ministry things come up onto it, because they've just been so memorable, or even just like even if it was like a, sometimes I would post, like I remember there was one time I posted uh a one of my, like a random selfie I had from my life group with the boys, teens boys, and it wasn't because that event was anything special, but it was a realization that, oh my, like these boys have grown a lot
Mm,
even in the past
like
year,
physically.
physically, spiritually as well, and mentally. I think there's a lot of things that they
Yeah.
experience, and I was like, oh wow, that's so good. God has been so good, and so I just wanted to post that, even if the caption didn't say anything like that. It was just like, for me, myself, I would be reminded that, oh, I experienced that with them.
Okay. Sorry, I'm
Sorry.
still laughing about the who made the cut. No, but I think for me there are maybe for me reflecting back on my life, because I was a pastor's kid, and so I had to share my life with a lot of like the church, the congregation,
Mm,
a lot. Even as I was little, like people were there for like birthday parties, people that I don't know, and so in some aspects of my life, I'm very private.
mm,
Like I there are things that happen that I don't post. And it's not because, oh, I did something I want to hide from people, but I was just like, they all don't need to know this.
that's true.
And so I think it's very interesting to just looking back on like what I do post, what I don't post. Um, yeah, although, like talking about life group, I lead a teen girls life group. And every Friday, we meet on Fridays. Every Friday, they take a mirror selfie.
Yeah.
And it's always the same place, the same kind of, yeah, the same arrangement, pretty much. And so the good thing for me is it actually like tells me attendance, like who's there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have to think about like taking attendance. But man, if I don't post, sorry girls, I'm outing you. But when I don't post, they're like, PT, you didn't post. You didn't post our mirror selfie. I was like, oh, I didn't know that now it's an obligation. Um, so I also post for attendance apparently. But I think like what I wanted to talk about is this whole idea of curating our online identity,
Mm,
because social media is sort of kind of like our face, what people see about us when they go online. And that's actually a lot of people, well, a lot of, I would say, employers look up people's social media just to make sure that they're like legit.
yeah.
And I also know, like, I had this conversation with a bunch of my friends. Actually, they're like, oh, like when I meet someone and I'm interested, and before I go on a date with them, I actually like look them up on social media to figure out like if they're legit, if like to know some stuff about them. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting, because that's sort of like another, I don't know, aspect of ourselves.
Mm,
And so what I wanted to talk about, and thus all of the questions about posting, is curating. That's the word. In a world where a lot of people curate what they post about themselves on social media, like what, like how do we talk about balance between like, oh, the real us and being vulnerable without being like overly cherry, like TMI, but also still be the same person online and in person. That's a really long sentence, by the way. Are you following?
Yes, yes, I'm following. I'm trying to
Right.
piece together what my own thoughts are
Okay.
here.
Sorry.
Okay, I do need some lead on that. Like, what do you think yourself, Tirza? Like, where are you with that?
No, okay, I think that's like sometimes when I post, that's what I think about. Like, oh, okay, what am I posting? Do I want to get a specific reaction?
Mm,
Sometimes I do when I post weird things or Star Wars memes or um I don't know, like funny tidbits. What was yeah. Um I think I post because I wanted to get like a laugh or whatever. But a lot of the times I ask myself, okay, what do I post? Is this something that I would share with someone if I'm just personally there with them? For example, like um I had like I don't know, like something funny that a Gojek driver mentioned. Would
mm,
I is it something that I would share with friends if you're sitting right next to me? Would I share it with you, or is it something that I like screenshot and save for later for an opportune moment to post online? So I think a lot of the times I think about like the motivation in which I post.
mm.
Like, am I trying to like what am I marketing here? Like, what message am I uh, what message am I like communicating through this post? So yeah, that's kind of my where I'm going with it.
Mm.
What about you?
I'm somewhat similar. I think I kind of look at the things that I post and or or the things that I capture and kind of think of like,
Mhm.
is it something that I would like to share with people, or like is it something that like other people, I'm okay with other people knowing,
Yeah.
even if because I it's not that I'm afraid of anyone's judgment, but it's also just more of like in my mind at least it's like
Mhm.
there's a certain amount of people that do follow, and so then is it important for everybody to like know? There are some things that happen in my life that I'm like, oh, they're good, and I don't need to share anything about it.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's just, I guess for me, it's just up yeah. Like one of the things that I'm thinking about, one of the things that I was thinking about when you brought up this conversation with me before the podcast was that um, I think a lot of the things I post on the internet, my captions, whether on my personal or my other one, are quite intense. Like they have like a lot of periods more than usual, and like they
A lot of periods meaning
like the actual like
physical periods.
uh,
Okay.
period, and then
So
like
full sentences.
full sentences or like one-off phrases and things like that. And they're always some type of, for me, they always feel like some type of like um, sometimes I'll call it like dramatic or something. In my mind, like, oh, it sounds so dramatic. But I do that because, to be honest, like I think internally that is some sort of intensity that
Yeah.
I do have, and that is like for me, it's an outlet that I do have for that.
Mhm.
But it's also kind of like this is who I am too. I am sometimes quite like a more intense person in conversations. Like yeah, I'm funny, or like yeah, I'll be like loose and relaxed, but like on it, like you can ask them to the teens. The teens know I'm quite intense person too, or like I'll hone them down on some things, and I just
This is me nodding.
yes, yes, I know. And so this is like for me, like the 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 alignment of who I am in person and who I am online. That's like what aligns,
Okay.
and obviously the events that happen, but
Yeah.
also that is what aligns. Where in a sense of that is who I that's the internal like person that I am as well.
Mhm.
And so if you, I guess if you see that and you understand that or see that, know that that's kind of what I am like as well
Yeah.
in person.
Um, so how do you stay true to yourself online or in person?
Um, I,
Is that something that you do intentionally, or is it something that you don't even think about?
I do. I think in I think I do intentionally, because there are times where I want to say things that are either too raw or like in a sense not too raw in a sense of like even for myself, like I haven't filtered it in my mind, but
Mm.
because like I'm journaling, I need to at least make it sound like make it readable, or even like for me like this is actually okay to share. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like and no one that I know in person would feel like this is like
An attack towards them,
it's just
or
like sometimes it's just feelings, right?
yeah.
And so I want to be able to process that and like word it in a way where it's like it's not an attack on anything.
Yeah.
It's just how I feel, and and so there is an intentionality to that, just to say, just so that I protect others. And to be honest, it's more for others than like for myself, because I think it is still portrayal of who I am. It's just more of like I don't want to hurt anybody in the process, or I don't want to call out anybody in my thoughts, because like I love people and but sometimes
Good to know. Good to
yeah,
know.
I love just individuals and people and all these things, and but I don't want. But sometimes it does rub me in a different way, or like I do reflect on it. I'm like, oh, maybe I was anxious about some things,
Yeah.
and so then, or I was very grateful for some things, and so these are I want to portray it in a way where it doesn't like hurt anybody or like call out a particular person or particular people. Um, and so there's a bit of intentionality in that kind of aspect, and also intentionality in bridging just kind of who I am. Because at the end of the day, when I post it, I know in my mind I'm trying to think about like conversations that follow up after that. And so if I cannot follow up with conversation with that post, then I'm not posting it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like yeah, that's how I think about it too. That's like one layer of intentionality where like if I post something and I cannot answer somebody asking me about it,
Yeah, yeah.
if there is somebody that wants to ask me about it, then that's not something I want to post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's this level of discernment as well, that is involved, that should be involved when we post.
Right.
And it's not, discernment is very different from curating, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because curating, there's a certain like agenda that is trying to be communicated. But I think when it comes to posting and being discerning, it's also about figuring out, okay, how does this impact me, my relationships, but also like, okay, I might be mad because someone cut me off in traffic today. I'm not gonna post it, like post the like like an angry, or even like someone maybe I know, and then just being like venting on social media, because I just don't think that's the best reflection of um my faith.
Yeah.
I think so. There's also like discernment. I don't like get into fight with a friend. Like I don't get into fights with you, but I don't get into fights with my friend and then like start making comments about like, oh, somebody blah 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 blah. That's actually what I tell teens all the time. Like, if you have, like, do not vent on social media.
No.
But I think, yeah, I think there's a difference between curating and discernment, and discernment is very much needed
Yes.
in how we post, because that, I think I like what you said about alignment.
Mm.
I feel like that's also what makes the difference between curating and creating this whole different persona on social media versus being true to yourself and being aligned with not just yourself but your values too, right?
Yeah. Uh, like there, I mean, I don't know how true it is in Indonesia, but I mean, like, or I don't know because I don't know a lot. I don't look into these things, but I've heard there's people like that post, and maybe they post all like the good highlights, but in reality, like personally, like, when you ask them what's going on, it's not what you see on the
Yeah.
internet. It's like absolutely the opposite. Maybe they're going through some really bad things, but then that's just how they cope with like, oh, this is a good stuff that I
Yeah.
have. Um, I think that creates for me. I think it creates a false sense of security, at least in some cases. Like because I think if you're not able to be okay with yourself presently, not online, but I think but still show us some type of okayness online. I think that's just like a duality and a even like I think some sort of insecurity in the sense of like apa ya gimana bilangnya? It's like oh, I'm speaking Indonesian. Oops, my bad.
It's okay. I feel like, I think there was an episode maybe with Kandi and Deva where I feel like that was like a third in Indonesian.
Oh. uh, and so like and there's that bit where when you will be asked or somebody does follow up there is gonna be like I think a a misalignment of like even who you are
Yeah.
or what you're going through, and it becomes kind of, even a way, I feel like, this top layer of numbness that you create
Mm.
towards your own problems, because this is the person that you're.
Disassociating with
Yes,
your own
that's
problems. Okay.
that's a good word. Yes, yes. So yes, yeah, and so that's kind of, I think, what it can lead to. I think like it can lead that direction if we really go that direction.
I mean, we can talk about this forever, but we don't have forever.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've been rambling a lot. But
Yes.
it would be interesting to find out, like, if you're listening and you're thinking about it, and we would love to know why you post, and some of the things that have have been in your mind as you post things on social media and different things. And but friends, thank you so much for joining us again. Thank you, Titus, for being here with us. But we will see you next week for another episode of Take a Beat. So don't miss a beat.